Opinion disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed by Just Our Opinion podcast are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any of our sponsors. Any content provided by our guest or authors are of their opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, anyone, or anything.
See, funny thing about love is you never really know when it's coming, but you better believe you'll know when it's there. True story. I must have been searching, though I wasn't looking for much. Checking out the scene, wasn't trying to get my numbers up. You know I keep it cool. I prefer to stay in the cut. Don't want no attention on me when I'm trying to shake the blues up off me. But then I saw your face, it caused my heart to race. Girl, you're looking like $1 million. Something about the way you strut your stuff. Oh, girl, you're fine as you wanna. What I'm supposed to do? Something told me got it time to lose. Go ahead and bust a move. Funny thing about love, when it comes and goes, you never know. So you gotta keep your heart exposed, and you can be sure there's no cause and no cure. And if it wants you, oh, it'll come and find you. Fall back just a little. Don't wanna lead you on. Don't wanna push a feeling and make the feeling go. You see, I got your number, but still I ain't used the phone. No, I let it breathe for a minute, baby. Next thing I know, you call. Damn. One thing I know about love, you never know when it's coming, but you sure know it when it does. Yeah. One thing I know about love, you might get what you ask for, so you better be sure it's what you want. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Funny thing about love, when it comes and goes, you never know. So you gotta keep your heart exposed, and you can be sure there's no cause and no cure. And when it wants you, oh, it'll come and find you. Yeah. One thing I know about love, you never know when it's coming, but you sure know it when it does. Yeah. One thing I know about love, you might get what you ask for, so you better be sure.
What's good?
Hello, happy Wednesday.
Hey, what's cracking?
Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Absolutely. Oh,
Welcome to Just Our Opinion with Robin.
Mike.
And Ty.
And today we are talking about how to ruin a good relationship.
Yep.
Throw it in the trash.
Like, what can you do to ruin a good relationship?
Yeah, there's plenty.
I mean, I could think of quite a bit. Yeah. And today we are sponsored and joined at the table by Boogie's Bangin' Lemonade.
Oh, yeah.
I want y'all to know that this little guy is doing this thing. We're going to try it live on the show. I haven't tasted it yet. We're going to try it live on the show. Do I have a flyer? There we go. Boogie's Bangin' Lemonade. Like I said, we're going to try it live, and then I'll give you guys some contact information for them. They hooked us up with like 4 different flavors. I think we got a regular lemonade, look like maybe a peach mango, strawberry guava, and then strawberry watermelon.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going to try this thing live here on the show, but we got Boogie's Bangin' Lemonade sponsoring us tonight. Y'all ready, fellas?
Let's do it.
Let's go. And this is why we miss our AP.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win.
Ain't hear us anyway.
I'm not gonna front.
Hey,
I'm not gonna front. I'm a little annoyed that I couldn't hear the theme music
Because it sets the tone.
because that's usually what kind of gets me. You know what I'm saying? Going at the top of the show, it usually what gets me in the mood. So if our AP is watching, I want to say, Angel, please be at work next week because apparently Ty don't know what he's doing no more.
it happens.
So Angel, please, oh please, make sure you're at work next week. Our AP had to take the day off. She's last semester of her senior year to get her bachelor's degree. So she's working on some projects, some film projects.
Dope. I saw
So she had to take the night off. But we are praying for her. We are rooting for her all the way. Got her back all the way, whatever she needs. We are so proud of her. So shout out to our AP Angel. And so again, we are talking about how to ruin a good relationship. But before we get started ruining relationships out here, Mike Jones, you got a beat for us?
Yeah, I mean, it's a recycle, but we good.
All right, leg out.
All right.
Y'all know what time it is.
Listen.
Like, follow, share, subscribe.
I don't even know
Do
if I
what
got
you
one
do.
in me. I don't. We got
Hit that
Let's go.
button.
Let's go, Robin.
Share with your
We got your
family
back.
and friends.
Make sure y'all share that page.
Yes.
We need them likes, them subscribers.
We need them
And turn
numbers
on
to
your
go
post
all the way
notifications.
up.
Right.
Let's go.
Share that page.
Share it.
Share that page.
Everybody.
Share that page.
Come on now.
Share that.
Yo, it's time to share that page.
Uh.
It's Robin, Mike, and Ty, and we coming through tonight. It's time to share that page because we gon' do it tonight. We going in, we going all the way. It's Robin, Mike, and Ty, and we don't come to play. It's time to get it in. Make sure you share the page. Call your mama, your daddy, and your cousin them. Make sure they ready to get it in. Robin, Mike, and Ty, and we ready to go in. Share that page.
Let's go.
Yep.
Share that page.
Share it.
Share that page.
Everybody.
Everybody.
It's time to share that page.
Okay, Robin. Okay, wait a minute. Let me find out.
Bars.
Bars was there.
Off the dome.
Off the
Bars.
Dome Records. In
So
the
look.
building. I'm proud.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
For sure.
I need to see them numbers go up though.
Yeah,
So
we definitely get that going.
you know, we just did a whole share the page rhyme, so y'all know what time it is. Make sure y'all are actually sharing
Sharing the
said
page.
page so we can get them numbers up, so we can get it going in. Let me make
Right.
sure, let me stop what I'm doing and make sure I share
the
said page. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Make sure
For
I'm
sure.
sharing
And make sure, like,
the page.
yeah, definitely turn on post notifications on both Instagram and YouTube, depending on what platform you follow us on, so you can get those notifications when we are actually live.
Yeah, because I see us doing a lot of stuff this year where it's not really planned for us to go live. And y'all don't want to miss any information. Y'all don't want to miss us going live. Y'all don't want to miss any of the wild things that we're going to have going on once the weather breaking this summer, because we got some big things coming for JOO. I don't know if y'all heard. I don't know if y'all have seen online. We've been posting it. JOO and Taste of Black Spirits is going to New York.
Yes. Brooklyn at. Where Brooklyn at?
Man,
Where
listen,
Brooklyn at?
I'm
No.
so excited. I'm so excited for what's going on with Taste of Black Spirits and Black Spirits Legacy. Y'all see I'm rocking my Everyday I'm Okay jacket today because I just want to represent our team, man, because I'm so excited for what's going on with our team. I'm so excited to be headed to New York, to Brooklyn. Man, we got some amazing brands going to be in the building. If y'all want to travel with us, y'all come through, man. Look, we should just make it a family trip. And we going to New York. We are in New York June 27th to the 30th. So make sure y'all, we're going to have more information coming forward as time get closer to the event. But put that on your calendars, man. Come hang out in New York with us. Come hang out in Brooklyn with us because it's going all the way down. Taste of Black Spirits Legacy, and JOO. I am so excited.
I just want to sit on a brownstone. I've always wanted to take a picture sitting on a brownstone.
You know what's crazy?
Like that's just
when I lived in Troy, the condo my husband and I had in Troy, it was built like a New York brownstone.
Oh, okay. That's dope.
So you walk up the tall stairs out front, and then you go in. And you're on like this little landing, and either you could go down or up. You know, and if you go up, you're in the main level of the house. You go down, you're technically in like the basement of the house, but that wasn't even the basement because it went to the garage and the downstairs bedrooms and stuff like that. So it was technically what would be considered the main level.
Oh, okay.
So I enjoyed like living in that type of, New York brownstone type of place.
It just seems like such a vibe, so I can't wait. And with the home
team, so I see we got a comment from Ty, and she says she's there. And I actually forgot that her boyfriend, my niece Ty, her boyfriend lives in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
So I'm really excited about that because that means 9 times out of 10, my baby gonna be in Brooklyn with us. So that makes me happy. Shout out to Ty. Shout out to Malik. We will see you guys in Brooklyn. Taste of Black Spirits. I am excited. I am absolutely excited. I see the numbers going up, so I need y'all again. Stop what you're doing. Share the page. Go to tagging people. We about to talking about how to ruin a good relationship, and I want to have some interaction during this show because we've all had relationships that we thought were just absolutely awesome, and then something ruined it.
Yeah.
Like something came about, something ruined that good relationship. Right. So we gonna dive into.
I don't know where this gonna go.
What could it be?
We're gonna dive into the things that can ruin a good relationship. So make sure y'all tagging people. Make sure y'all get people to like, follow, subscribe. Make sure y'all got people watching tonight. Malik, I see you. I'm sorry, you in the boogie down. My bad. So Malik doesn't live in Brooklyn. He live in the boogie down. He in the Bronx.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got to represent for sure.
You need to come through. Come hang out with us in Brooklyn. And he says, see you there. So bet, Malik, we will see you in Brooklyn coming straight from the boogie down.
Yes.
So again, I'm excited. I'm just really excited about us, about Taste of Black Spirits and about JOO headed to New York. We international in this thing. We about to take over the country. And, let me speak those things right now as though they are. JOO will have a Sirius XM radio show.
Talk about it.
JOO will have a show on Sirius XM on one of the stations on Sirius XM.
Talk about it.
My Bible say to speak those things that are not as though they are, and you got to have faith that they gonna happen. So shout out to our Just Our Opinion radio show.
Yeah, let's do it. All facets.
I can't wait when we get to New York. I'm gonna go down the Ave. I don't know where you get them from, but I'm gonna get me a couple of Coach and Louis Vuitton purses.
I hope
some holidays are coming up.
Oh, no, you're not.
So you good. Keep them on deck. You got a closet full of bags.
Shout out to Ty. Shout out to Ty with the just almost not quite right Gucci and Louis bags. But listen, it's so funny that you say that because I was it's this really wealthy guy that I follow on social media, and he was talking about how rich people, wealthy people don't go spend their money on the real stuff.
I don't blame them.
And it's because the truth of the matter is, when you're wealthy like that, everybody's gonna assume what you're wearing is real anyway. So why go out and buy real when everybody assume what you have on is real anyway? So you can go to them boys, if y'all on TikTok, y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all can go to them boys and go get them boys on the fence and go get you know what I'm saying, Gucci, Louis, gym shoes, all kind of stuff.
For 90%
And-
off the retail price.
Exactly. And because you got a little money, ain't nobody gonna question whether your bag or your shoes or whatever is real. It's y'all people that's running around here living with your mama, got a broke down, 1947, something, and you out here looking a mess, your hair ain't done, your kids ain't got no clothes, and you got on a Birkin. Like, y'all the ones we look funny at, because I know that you know that I know. However, when you got a little bit of money anyway, I don't know why my sister calling me. Well, shout out to Contina, because I'm live. So whatever it is that you need, just shoot me a text message. But you running around out here and with no money, and we know we know you ain't got no bread. We know you ain't got no job, but you out here with a Birkin that costs $40,000, and they only make so many of them.
Mm-hmm. And that is a great segue, Robin, because guess one of my things on my list that can ruin a relationship.
What's that?
Birkin bag?
No.
Birkin bags ruin relationships?
No, living above your means.
Oh, yeah.
Your priorities I can't get through to you because I done sat down and told you that, look, this is what we got going on, but you keep on running to the mall, trying to keep up with Keisha, Fruisha, and Fruquan. Good?
Keep talking.
Good.
Oh, okay.
Keep
so
talking.
I'm like, what's going on? So yeah, like your priorities and living above your means could definitely help put your relationship in a
Right.
chokehold.
Oh, most certainly. Shout out to Boogie's Bangin' Lemonade.
Let me
I
taste.
tasted the strawberry watermelon, and what was wild about it was the reason I had that look on my face is because usually when something is like something in watermelon, you can't taste the watermelon. I can clearly taste strawberry and watermelon in this lemonade.
Let me say
this
this.
is all natural.
Listen,
you
let
can
me
tell
tell
ain't
you.
no faking this.
Listen, this
you
peach
can taste
mango is banging.
lemons
So, Boogie, I don't
and
know
everything.
what you got in here, but it's banging.
Yeah, there's some
definitely
straight up
banging.
banging lemonade. So shout out to Boogie's Bangin' Lemonade, because this lemonade is most certainly banging.
For sure. Look.
And Ty done finished this glass already, about to go pour some more.
That should be their tagline. Woo-wee.
So shout out to Boogie's Bangin' Lemonade.
Let me hit that peach.
So we got a comment from Vaughn, and it says, I agree, undisciplined financial management can ruin a relationship.
Let me tell you something. That finance piece, I personally feel like that finance piece is definitely number one on the list. When you
Number one
on the list.
to ruin a relationship.
I feel like people could probably look the other way on some infidelity, but if you mess up their money on either side, or you messing up the finances, or you making irresponsible decisions, no, I can't trust you with the money now. I mean, that's just how I feel. I don't know. I could be wrong.
No, could be.
So for me, I would say my top thing that can ruin a relationship, and I don't want y'all to take this wrong, but I'm honest. My top thing that can ruin a good relationship is sex. Like, let's be one.
Bad sex.
No, not even bad sex.
No
because,
sex.
Because if it's a good relationship, 9 times out of 10, at some point the sex was good.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, and maybe that's where we should back this thing up to. Maybe we should back this up to what's a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Well, that right there, that can ruin a good relationship. If you in a relationship and you don't know whether it's good or not, then that done ruined your relationship.
I mean, I see what
you
you're
should
saying,
know
but you
that
gotta
you in a good relationship.
you gotta break that down a little bit. And the reason I say let's go ahead and quantify what's considered a good relationship is because you can have good relationships that's not just romantic relationships, and that's kind of what I want to dive into, because you can ruin a good friend relationship. You can ruin a good romantic relationship. You can ruin a good family relationship. So I want to, deep dive into not just talking about romantic relationships, but how you can ruin all types of good relationships. So specifically for romantic relationships, the reason I say sex is not talking about bad sex, but relationships evolve and people evolve together, which means your sex life with somebody is also supposed to evolve. And if one partner is willing to try new things and evolve and, you know, do new things, and the other partner is, you know, stuck in their ways, we do 3 minutes missionary, and then I turn you on over on the same exact side, and, you know, I hump it the exact same way on the same exact side. Like you could dang near set your timer to this person's sexual moves. You know, that's a way to ruin a good relationship.
All right, Cleophas, I know. I know.
Listen, I mean, I feel like that could definitely ruin it. But I mean,
monotony.
Just being stagnated, like the brother was saying the other day, last week on the show. They kind of hit home, like, dude, we done got boring. We done got kind of lazy on doing
and shout
stuff.
out to comedian Blackberry for coming on the show last week, because he dropped some nuggets. Like, I'm not gonna lie, and you're absolutely right. Like, being boring can ruin a good relationship. I'm one of those people where I like to be wined and dined. I like to be pursued. I like to be dated. And you can get comfortable in a relationship. And I think comfortability can ruin a good relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but I also feel like where how do I want to say this? I think the misunderstanding is that us men have to do it all by ourselves. We like it too. And so it's like, I hear you say, like, okay, yeah, you know, I want to be wined and dined, but don't forget that, you know, we like it too. Like, playing us up, like, it don't even have to be, we don't require much. We really don't.
We need to stop saying that, because they done got lazy. We keep saying we don't require much, we don't need much, and now they ain't doing shit.
Well, at the same time, y'all aren't either, though.
But no, it's a difference between not doing nothing.
No. Y'all have gotten lazy. That's just the real. Y'all not out here doing nothing either. Like, you can't sit up here.
I'm going to give you an example. Okay, I agree with you. Both parties can get lazy and stop doing the romance. Okay. And not saying this is you, but every brother know that he has been in some type of relationship where on Valentine's Day, he go out, get her a nice gift, and she get him that same tab booty that she gave him last week. So that ain't showing effort, and we just sit and take it like it's the best thing ever in the world.
It's funny to me how every time we have a conversation about how to advance a relationship or how to move a relationship forward or anything of that sort, even with you attempting to make a point about women being lazy, you immediately went to lazy with the booty. Like,
because that's typically how women be lazy when it comes to us men.
Well, but my point in saying that is there are so many other dynamics in a relationship that you have to be able to dive into. Okay, she done got lazy with the booty, but you know what I'm saying? She out here actually planning trips and planning dates and, you know what I'm saying, taking care of business. But for Ty, because she, you know what I'm saying, done got lazy with the booty. Oh my God, beautiful relationship is over.
You just said you require romance.
And romance ain't necessarily sex.
Okay, right. But what we require is sex.
No, what you require is sex.
What majority of men require is sex. If you got a man and he ain't requiring sex, you ain't got a man.
I'm not saying that men don't require sex. I'm saying that mature adult men don't only require sex. Is what I'm saying.
I did not say only.
Well, I have to
just
assume
like
that
you said,
I have
you
to
didn't
assume
say,
that you mean only sin is that every time we sit at this table. Listen, you act like both your marriages wouldn't have failed if they was giving you some. Like, dude, like I have to believe that was not the downfall of both your marriages. So be able to be a little more deeper and stop being pool water bathtub shallow and figure out what your problem is.
That's the thing with guys. When we talk about sex, it's shallow, it's it's not that deep, but let
No.
somebody say romance
No.
is shallow when it comes to women.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I said when you talk about sex is shallow. I didn't say when men. I said when you talk about sex
I'm a
is shallow.
man.
And the reason I the reason I said when you talk about sex is shallow is because it's all the hell you ever talk about. Like
But
literally,
most men that
you're
okay,
literally
we say
incapable.
no. We say men. We always say we are simple. We say feed me, respect me, sex me. You give me those 3 things, I'm good. That's all we requiring. But
Then what-
the
I guess-
moment,
I guess
the
what I'm asking you to
moment
do- I guess
we
what I'm
talk
asking you to
about,
do-
okay, I need you to cook me something to eat. Why it always gotta be about cooking? I need you to be submissive. I can only be submissive to certain men. I need you to give me the booty. Why you so shallow? What
Here's
if we
the thing.
did those
Here's the
same things when y'all
Here's
talk
the thing.
about romance?
What you
me?
don't realize is what I'm trying to get you to understand is you don't touch on the other 2. You literally every week. I wish we could do a freaking highlight reel because every week you sit at this table and act like the end all be all to every relationship is sex. And don't get me wrong, I 100% agree that sex is a huge part of relationships. I 100% agree, and I've said that numerous times because it can be a deal breaker for me too. However, I realize that there are other things.
There
in a
are other
relationship.
things,
So
but
is-
we're talking about the thing that women get lazy at the most
Okay, so-
when it comes to guys.
So I think it just depends on the individual, what's important to them, and if sex is higher up on the list, then because for me, it's really not just the sex. That to me, it's not that. For me, it's like all the other things, like respect, like how you treat me as an individual, the kids, are you a good mother? Like it's a bunch of stuff that go into that. So it just depends on the individual themselves. Basically what's important to them. So if it's the bedroom activity for Todd, that's what it is. If it's being more romantic and not just in the bedroom for you, that's what it is. And that's going to always be in the forefront of whatever a person's trying to plead their case based on what's important to them.
My point is that what's the common denominator? Like if you keep having failed relationships and keep having failed relationships and failed marriage and failed relationship and failed marriage and failed relationship, everybody else ain't the problem.
I mean, it just depends.
What is the common denominator in all these fails?
I mean,
You are the common denominator in every failure.
I mean, but at the same time,
That's with every relationship.
Well, I look at it like this, and this is kind of just a parallel comparison.
It's funny.
good lemonade.
Listen. It's funny because I'm loving this lemonade, but I don't know if we can have it on the show again. And the reason I said I don't know if we can have it on the show again is because it causes you to do that.
Oh,
And Ty like tasted himself any doggone way. So
he in super taste mode.
like he in super taste
Every
himself
time.
mode, like because and like I said, he tastes himself all
Without
the time
lemonade.
anyway. Without he can be
Just
drinking
because
water
I taste
and
good.
taste himself. You know what I'm saying?
Just
So
come finger licking good.
so I don't know if we can do this lemonade anymore because if I hear him smack his lips in my ear one more time, we're gonna have to cut these cameras because I'm telling you we gonna have a problem.
Delicious.
it is good though. He tearing it up. too.
Boogie's banging, taste yourself lemonade. One sip and you will be delicious.
All I'm saying is I don't think our audience want to hear you smacking in their ear either,
Hey,
dude.
you found
Like-
the sponsor.
Like as much as you getting on my nerve, I'm sure. Look, our audio is quite annoyed with you smacking. So look the other way when you feel the need to taste you do it. I'm gonna hit you right in your motherfucking face. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you.
She about to
I promise you. I promise you.
look. So for me,
I promise you. I promise you.
do we got a commercial ready?
I promise you. Like, dog, I put it on everything.
Oh my God. I love it. No, like I really think that it is basically about it's the individual. So yeah, for me, it may not be like I love it, but it don't consume me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I'm just like any other man. It's on my list, but I'm not upset about it. I'm like, if you decide that ain't what you want to do, just understand that if you keep on for a certain amount of time, don't be mad at me when I go somewhere else and get it, because I'm still a man. So
but that's what I was saying.
That can ruin a relationship. So you can withhold it. I'm not gonna hound you. I'm not gonna keep on asking you to be the initiator and this, that, and the other. I'm not gonna make it a big deal. But when I go and I'm staying out a little longer and a little longer and a little longer, I don't want to hear nothing.
But that was exactly what I was saying when I said that, sex is, it is like, for me, especially for me, because I'm such a sexual person, that not progressing with me sexually and getting into routine sexually and not letting us explore ourselves and each other sexually can ruin a good relationship for me. Like, it can 100% ruin a good relationship for me. Now, is it the only thing? Like, it's probably sex along with a few other things on the list. Right. However, that can be one of the things for me that can ruin a good relationship.
So you're saying not progressing in your sexual relationship, being mundane, is a deal breaker.
Yeah, like, because if we've been together 10, 15 years, and literally for 10, 15 years, you come in the room
with the same missionary.
You come in the room, you eat it. Then you stroke it missionary. And then after about 10 pumps missionary, you roll me over to the left. And then you know what I'm saying? Like, we in this routine of, I'm sitting here dang near like, okay, that's 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm rolling over.
Not that's 10.
I'm rolling over before you even, and you out here thinking you killing it. Like, you out here like, yeah, girl, yeah. And I'm over here like, it's yours.
You got to communicate that though.
You got to communicate it
though. And that's another thing that can ruin relationships, not communicating. If you ain't at a point where y'all can sit down and have an adult conversation,
absolutely,
without people getting offended or
absolutely.
I saw something the other day and it said something about no holds barred truths. Like, we having a conversation, you spit your truths, I'm gonna spit my truths.
Right.
I'm gonna give you a chance to say whatever truths you got, and I'm gonna do the same. And we're gonna leave the feelings and all of this stuff out of it. We gotta leave it out of it, because I really want to talk to you, homegirl to homeboy, really. Like, I really want to have those conversations with you. And it could be a dangerous space to be in.
It can.
But I feel like that has unpeeled back a lot of layers for people who do it that way.
It's funny because I was giving somebody some advice in their relationship the other day, and they're having some issues with their husband, and we were just talking, and I said that you guys have to sit down and have those hard conversations.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times in relationships and in marriages, to keep the peace, we avoid those hard conversations.
Right.
We go out of our way to, I'm not going to talk about that because I know it's going to cause an argument. I feel this way, but I'm not going to express the way I feel because I know it's going to cause an argument. But the problem with that is you might be avoiding an argument today, but you're building up resentment now. You're building up hostility now because you keep holding that in. Y'all keep refusing to have these hard conversations. And because y'all keep refusing to have these hard conversations, y'all are pulling further and further away from each other. You guys are not growing and pulling together. You're pulling further and further away from each other because now I can't talk to you. Right. Now I can't communicate with you. Now I'm holding things in. You're holding things in. And we out here playing nice, but at the end of the day, both of us are hurting inside.
Right. Mm-hmm. When you have that backpack and I'm gonna just throw that in the backpack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just throwing it in the backpack. Eventually that backpack gets heavy, and then when it's too heavy for you to carry it, now you ready to just let it all out, let it go. You ready to just unpack it all, and you just throwing everything at your mate or your spouse or your girlfriend or boy. You throwing too much at them at one time. So why not do that as it comes?
Well, let me tell you one of the problems that can happen with having those hard conversation and those truth moments. A lot of the times you have people in relationships that's borderline narcissistic. Like let's call it what it is.
Or don't accept accountability.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. You run into situations where you have people in relationships that will literally go out of their way to, no matter what the situation is, they will figure out a way for it to be your fault. Like no matter what, oh honey, you left the toilet seat up, today. No, and I'm just using this as an example because I don't sit up and argue about toilet seats. But no, I'm just using it as an example. I don't want to get into a toilet seat fight. Like I don't really care like that.
Right.
But as an example, honey, you left the toilet seat up. As opposed to just putting the damn toilet seat down and moving on, or you have a conversation with your mate and you say, I don't like when you did X, Y, and Z. And instead of your mate acknowledging how you felt and you not liking they did X, Y, and Z, they look you dead in the face and be like, well, I did that because you did that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that don't mean you didn't do, like, I get very annoyed and very pissed off when people have a hard time, for one, not taking accountability, and for two, apologizing. If you are that type
not
of
apologizing or apologizing,
people having problems apologizing.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah.
If you everything that happens is my fault, or you figure out a way to spin it and make it my fault. You don't take accountability for what you did. You just make it my fault. And then on top of not taking accountability for what you did and making it my fault, you're not apologizing for anything you did too. So it ticks me off because you have people that run around talking about, be honest, don't lie, don't deny, and things like that. But what are you doing?
Right.
You at the same time are not taking accountability. You at the same time are playing the victim. You at the same time are, you are not taking responsibility for your actions. You at the same time, no matter what the situation is, no matter how wrong you are in the situation, you make it somebody else's fault. Somebody else is not always the problem. You need to be able to step back and say, you know what? I am the common denominator. I am a problem, and this needs to be fixed. Because if you can't step back and say, I am a problem, then you are basically hopeless, useless, and probably don't need to be with nobody.
You know what? There is one apology I always hated. I just cannot stand this type of apology. And I think it's people who apologize like this have narcissistic tendencies to me, where they say, I'm sorry you felt that way. I hate that apology whatsoever, because you're not taking responsibility
at all.
And whatsoever.
At all.
So they can slap you in the face and you be like, you hurt me.
I'm sorry you felt that way.
Yeah, I'm sorry you
and it's
felt
funny
that way.
Because
Not
even
I'm
in
sorry
therapy,
I did it.
Or even in
Right.
therapy, they tell you, like, no, acknowledge what you did.
Right.
No, it's sorry I made you feel that way.
Nope.
You know
They
what I'm
say,
saying?
I'm
Like,
sorry
I'm
you
sorry you feel that way. Like, are you like? And
I hate that.
then it'll be the person like, well, I did apologize. No, you didn't.
Right.
Like, you apologized for what I felt. You didn't apologize for making me feel that way.
I'll go a step further, and even outside of that, be receptive. And I'm not saying that when I apologize that the person that's apologizing, don't feel like just because you apologize that just
automatically I'm okay.
You okay?
Yep.
No,
Give that person
okay.
Yeah, give that person some time. But at the same time, be receptive to the fact that I acknowledge that I hurt you, and I acknowledge the fact that it's going to take you some time to get over it. I need you to also be receptive to the apology, and in the way that you can know that that person is really truly sorry is to change behavior. So I addressed it. I addressed your feelings. I apologize for it. You don't get to also beat me over the head with it every time.
So I was just about to
every
say,
time
that's something else.
We arguing about something else, and now you backtracking to something that I already apologized for, trying to stack it up to prove a point, this, that, and the other. So it's that type of behavior can actually mess up and ruin a relationship.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that was actually going to be my next point on things that can ruin a good relationship.
Yeah.
If you are the type of person that every argument you go to pulling in your bag,
because you want to win.
you know what I'm saying? You go to pulling in your bag. Well, it's just like when you did X, Y, and Z, or and when you did. First of all, it's called not fighting fair. You are not fighting fair, because fighting fair means you address this issue
And stick with
this issue.
If you wanted to talk about that and you wasn't over that,
Well,
we
here's
should've
my
talked- we
here's
could
my
talk
thing.
about that later,
Here's my
or we should have
thing.
been talked about it.
If I apologize, we work through it, and you say you forgive me, don't bring that back to me. Do not dare bring that back to me, because
Right.
you want to see anger come out of me. Go to pulling in your arsenal.
When your back is against the wall.
You know what I'm saying? You dang near losing an argument, because that's usually when it happens. You know what I'm saying? You losing an argument and you want to pull into your arsenal and bring up, the last 15 years of arguments and to prove your point, when in the reality is you don't have a leg to stand on, or either you just are not mature enough, man enough, woman enough, you know what I'm saying, to have this particular argument and stick with this particular argument. If you do not forgive me, if you are still angry with me, and this is another one for me that'll ruin a good relationship, don't play happy with me. I do not like being played happy with. If you are upset with me for something 15 years ago, don't sit up and play like we're happy. Don't play the role with me. Be mad.
Well,
I mean,
Go ahead.
my thing is, with that, I don't know about being mad with me, because, like I said, if I apologize, I changed, I addressed the issue. It's not my responsibility to keep apologizing to you until you feel like you over it.
Period.
If you say you forgave me and we worked through it and we did everything, but you still harboring some feelings and now you still want another apology until you feel like I done said sorry enough.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, because you forgave me. We had this conversation. We had this fallout. We had this fight. You forgave me. And so now every time you get mad, you want to bring this up to me.
Right.
Don't stop forgiving me. You know what I'm saying?
I would agree with that.
Don't sit up and play nice with me.
I would agree with that, but I also feel like exactly if you are a repeat offender, if you do the same thing
that's
and they
different.
bring it up again, like, okay, you did this before, now you're doing it again. I'm just reminding you that I have given you grace. I've given you,
that's
Then-
totally
but
different.
no,
That's a
even
new
in that,
instance.
But even in that, then bounce. Didn't go.
yeah.
I mean, that is your
Then
that is
go.
your option to bounce and everything. But no, if you keep doing it to me and I stick with you, you still need to apologize.
And my point,
for that
and my
next
point
occurrence.
is, and after the next occurrence, and that's where my issue running in at. Let's say the occurrence does happen again. I still don't feel like you get to go to pulling in your bag.
Well, you may not get to pull in your bag for the previous one, but we need to talk about this most recent
absolutely,
one.
absolutely.
for sure,
but the point of fighting fair is this one. Let's have this argument, because you ever had an argument with your spouse and it start off one thing, like y'all arguing about shoes in the floor,
Right.
okay?
Right.
And that's what this argument started about: shoes in the floor.
Okay.
Next thing you know, y'all ain't even mad about shoes in the damn phone no more. The next thing you know, y'all arguing about everything you've done over the last 5 years when we were arguing about shoes in the floor. I've gotten to the point where I sit there and be like, how the hell did we get here?
Yeah, but see that's when you have unresolved issues. I'm talking about, like, okay, let's go with the shoes in the floor example. We had a conversation about shoes in the floor. I said, look, I will do my best, to keep my shoes out the floor, blah, blah, blah. Okay, some time go past. I've been doing well. You come in, you see the shoes on the floor again, you address it. Like, hey, we had this conversation before about shoes in the floor, and here we go again. You haven't recognized the fact that all the time done passed that it wasn't shoes in the floor, as soon as you see shoes in the floor again, it automatically springboards your mind back to when y'all had that argument about the first time. So it's just like if I crashed your car, I'm like, let me get the keys to your car. You be like, hey, you crashed my car the last time. I'm giving you my keys. Don't crash my car.
That's different.
Nah, bro. Nah,
you ain't getting my keys again. You crashed my car.
That's exactly what I was about. That's exactly what I was about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say. Stop giving them the keys.
Right.
Don't bring up them crashing, because that might be a traumatic experience for them too. Don't bring up them crashing your car every time you hand them your keys. Stop giving them your keys.
So with that same analogy, hey, you're not finna talk to me like that. I'm an adult, you an adult. We can't have a conversation like two adults. We ain't having no conversation. So the next time you get loud with me, I'm like, I ain't having this conversation. I'm out. So it's the same principle.
Yeah, you
But my
always
point
have
is,
a right to walk away.
Yeah.
Stop having
But
a
we know how that
conversation.
go.
But
We
let
know
me
how
tell
that
you.
go.
Let me
try
tell
to
you what
walk
I've
away
noticed.
From some, it ain't just women. Men too. You try to walk away. What you think you going? Or this, that, and the other. That's a whole nother.
Oh, absolutely.
A whole nother.
But let me
field.
tell you what I've noticed. And we can use the shoes in the floor analogy.
Right.
I've noticed that the person that always pulls into, oh, and you had shoes in the floor last week on the 15th, and you had shoes in the floor 5 years ago. I've realized that the person that always pull into their arsenal is usually 9.5 times out of 10 the exact same person that never takes accountability for the stuff that they do.
Okay.
It's
explain that.
usually the exact same. The person that has an arsenal, the person that brings up, y'all get into an argument and they go into every argument y'all got into and they want to bring up stuff and they want to rehash stuff. The person that does that is usually the exact same person that don't take accountability for the crap that they do.
Right. I see what you're saying
it's
now.
usually the person that will never apologize. It's usually the person that sees nothing wrong with their action. It's usually the person that always plays the victim. It's usually the person that, I'm sorry you feel that way. It's usually the person that cannot and will not acknowledge when they're wrong.
But I'm not about to go tit for tat, because once you go down that tit for tat road, and trust me, I'm the king of it. I used to be that that same person, and because it's like you're back against the wall, and it's like, now you brung up something, but the moment I bring up something, then now all we doing is going back and forth. Well, you did it. I only did that because you did. And another thing. So now you, like you said, you sitting up thinking like, hold on, how did we get here? How did we get to this point where we just arguing about everything? And the initial thing was, all I asked you to do was wash the dishes,
Period.
my dude,
Well,
or my girl.
We do
Whatever.
have to address now, sometimes when those arguments about the shoes in the floor, sometimes though that shoes in the floor is the catalyst. It's that straw that broke the camel back. And a lot of time, men and women do hold things in, and they get to a point where they're just at their breaking point. So when they see those shoes, now they're arguing about every single thing that they were upset about that they didn't bring up before, that they was holding in.
But that's exactly
So-
what we were talking about addressing it.
Right.
Yeah,
Have those
that-
hard
I mean,
conversations.
right. It is better that you should address it at the moment, but we have to be honest. A lot of times we hold stuff in. We, instead of just addressing whatever the issue is at the moment, we give them that
Listen.
fake grace.
I've had arguments where it's like, I don't like the way you talking to me. And instead of stopping, taking accountability that, yeah, I am kind of talking to you sideways right now. I am getting loud with you. My bad. I apologize. The next reaction is, okay, I don't like the way you're talking to me. And then the very next thing that come at me is, well, the reason I'm talking to you is because you said such. And 3 years ago, you got loud with me. And I'm sitting there going,
Right.
mother effer, I said
See?
right now that I don't like the way you talking to me.
But see, that's
You can't do that either.
That's what I'm saying. As it's
But that's
human.
how
it goes.
frustrating
I know.
frustrating it
I
is
mean,
because
but
you sitting there going, what the heck does that have to
So-
do with right now the way you talking
Right.
to me?
The proper thing would
is-
be just to walk away.
But here's the
in
thing.
that moment.
Here's the thing.
which
we
is
all
easier
need
said than done.
A brush up and a touch up on conflict resolution. That's what this is. That's what this part is about to me.
Right.
It's like two adults. You yelling at me, I'm yelling at you. Ain't either one of us parents. Like, I ain't your mama, I ain't your daddy, you ain't my mama. You know, you didn't have me. We still adults at the end of the day. We supposed to be trying to come together to resolve this issue. When you bring the egos and you bring the you ain't finna overtalk me, then you got the manhood. Oh, just because you're a man, you think you could talk to me like this? Nah, I ain't about to let that slide, nigga. Who you think you talking to? You ain't my daddy. All that back and forth is unhealthy. But it takes one person to be like, I'm not arguing like this. We not arguing like this. You can say whatever you want to say, but I refuse to argue in this manner. We're gonna have disagreements. We two human people trying to be together. You an individual. I'm an individual. We're not gonna see eye to eye on everything. Somebody has to be like, look,
The bigger person.
it ain't even about being. It's just doing the right thing.
Right.
Somebody got to be like, look, this is not healthy. For one, ain't nobody getting a point across. For two, ain't nobody understanding between the yelling and the screaming and the fussing and the fighting and the name calling, this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, what's getting resolved? And even if you reach some type of agreement, you walk away from it feeling exhausted, mentally drained, tired,
Still upset.
or throwing it in your backpack like, man, you know what? I'm just tired of arguing. So let me just throw this in my backpack.
I can tell you why, because people don't want to resolve an argument.
They wanna win
wanna
it.
win.
They want to win
Yes.
it. They want to win it.
Yeah, and it's hard for
And-
people not to let that winning go.
It's funny because they want to win the argument. That's why people have a hard time saying I was wrong. That's why people have a hard time taking accountability for what they did. Because the moment you take accountability for what you did, the moment you say, you know what, I was wrong, you feel like you lost that argument. Well, my problem with that is, what are you going to lose by not saying you're wrong? What are you going to lose by not taking accountability? Right. It's only so many times you are going to allow somebody to feel like they crazy, and while you playing the victim in every situation. It is only so many times somebody's going to allow you to make them the villain in every story. It is only so many times somebody is going to allow you to manipulate their feelings, manipulate how they feel about things, to manipulate situations, refuse to take accountability, constantly play the victim, constantly act like, you know, the cause and effect is always that person. Well, I did that because you did that. No, you did that because your ass wanted to do that.
Right.
Not because I did anything to you, especially not because I did something to you 5 years ago.
Right.
So it's only so many times a person is going to allow you to mess with them like that and mess with their mental like that. You might want to decide what you got to lose before you keep playing this stupid game, because you play stupid game, you win stupid ass prizes.
For facts. But I mean, it's easier in certain situations. Like you said, it ain't just about a romantic relationship or a marriage, or, you know, like, how do you deal with that with friends? Normally it's easy unless you've been a friend for, like, you know, y'all got some tenure, y'all got like years invested in the friendship. It's easy for you to just be like, okay, I don't mess with that mug no more. Like, I'm done. Mm-hmm. I don't mess with you no more. It's easy. Like, if you do something to somebody and this is like, all right, we had this conversation. You feel the way that you feel. I feel the way that I feel. You may feel like you didn't do me wrong. I feel like you did. We don't have to see eye to eye. We could go our separate ways and never talk again.
And it's funny because that's kind of the way that you ruin friendships.
Right.
That's the way friendships get ruined.
Right.
Because, you know, you can have an amazing friendship. You can have this great, great friendship with somebody, and then something happens. Mm-hmm. And again, you run into you were wrong. No, you were wrong. No, you were wrong. No, you were wrong. If don't nobody fold,
yeah, it's over.
And nobody compromise, or, you know, apologize and compromise, then you just ruin that relationship.
Right.
I mean,
because everybody want to be right or win,
or they feel like you got to come to me. No, you got to come to me.
So the big thing, so basically, what we're saying is the big way to ruin a relationship, any relationship,
is be a winner.
It's wanting to win arguments.
Yeah, I mean, it is
like I forgot who said this, but what they said is people prefer to be right versus happy.
Yep.
Nah.
Yep.
So.
I mean, but I feel like that, like, as an individual, who are you to tell me that I'm not right? And when it comes, we're not talking about something that's factual.
Because in
Like,
an
if you tell me-
argument,
hold
there
on,
is no
Yes, it is.
everybody have fault in
Like,
whatever
and that's the
argument
thing
we
that-
in.
that's the
so
thing
you
right
can't
there.
be
But
right.
opinions
You don't
we
get
both-
to be right. Both of y'all
have
wrong.
fault.
Both
We
of y'all
have
wrong.
fault.
And
There's
the problem
something that's
is
factual.
when one
Go ahead.
person wants to be right and the other person like, you know what? I was wrong. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
But
I get
you
that.
even make the person that bowed and said, "Okay, I was wrong," mad as hell when
'Cause
you
you
won't
still
do it
pouring
because you
on.
still pouring.
Right.
Okay, and that's for sure that's wrong. But there is a right and wrong in an argument. If I tell you stop signs are red and white, and you tell me no, they not,
Because they're not
what are they?
Gray.
clear.
You're absolutely wrong.
They
But-
sparkle
but-
sometimes.
No.
So they're reflective.
Yep.
Okay, so
So,
the
but-
color of a stop sign, if you take a test and they ask you what color are stop signs and you put clear, you fail.
Red
That
and
answer.
red and reflective. Because
Reflective
you got
is
to
not
be
a
able to
color.
see them in the
But-
dark.
but I said what color? Reflective
So
is
then
not
it
a
would
color.
be iridescent then.
Okay, I see what you're doing.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
see, here's the thing. I get the exercise. But what I'm saying is there's arguments based on facts where you could clearly say right or wrong.
Yes, there are arguments based
Okay,
on facts,
so-
but
but
in
the-
relationships, 9 times out of 10, we ain't having factual arguments.
I
No.
beg to differ, bro.
What factual argument are you having typically in a relationship?
Finances.
Factual. What? Okay, what's the factual?
If I tell
point?
you, hey, you not about to take the rent money and go balling, go shopping with it, and we need to pay the rent, and I'm arguing about that, and you telling me, well, we gonna do it. I'm gonna make sure we get it paid. Da 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 da. No, we not.
But what's
We
the
are-
factual piece about it?
We need to pay our rent so we have a roof over our head.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
But that doesn't. My point to that could be, well, I'm getting a bonus this Friday, which is gonna be before the rent. So technically, I'm not spending the rent money. That's not a factual argument. A factual argument is, I'm telling you 1 + 1 is 2, and you saying it's 3.
Yeah. Okay. I
So
get what you're
I
saying.
mean, there aren't
You know
those
what?
arguments
It's funny.
in marriages.
It's funny because the other issue that can ruin a good marriage, and speaking of factual and non-factual, the other issue that can ruin a good marriage or good relationship or something like that is the know-it-all.
Mm-hmm.
Being a know-it-all
Yeah.
in a relationship can ruin, and that's a friendship, a marriage, a work relationship. Regardless to what the relationship consists of, a know-it-all can ruin.
Or
a good
Mr. Me
relationship.
Too. I don't like the people who
I don't like Mr. Me Too.
Yeah, like
either.
you sitting up here trying to talk about your problem. And like, I remember a time
Yep.
when that happened to
Yep.
me. And
Yep.
I'm like, look, I came to you about my problem. Can you
And
just
now I
sit
got
there and
to- I got to
me?
listen to your problem.
Stop
Right.
doing that. Where's
Yep.
the camera? Stop doing that.
Yes.
Whoever you are,
Yes.
please stop doing that.
Yes.
On a friendship, I cannot stand
Yes,
that.
I agree.
I
The
can
know-it-all, and the Mr. Me Too can
Please
ruin
stop
any relationship.
Please.
I got to,
sorry,
and
but I
I'm
had
sorry.
to
I'm
get
gonna just share the story because it
Oh
is what
my
it is.
God.
I got into an argument last night. And the argument was about if a light-skinned person, like a really light-skinned person, and somebody my complexion get together and have a baby, can the baby come out my complexion?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's genes. Who's ever had
And-
dominant genes?
And the argument was, no, they can't. Ain't no way. And blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there going, DNA is a hell of a thing, first of
Right.
all.
Right.
Like, DNA is something that the average person does not get. Like, DNA is a hell of a thing. And then on top of that, you're telling me as the person that carried this child, being my complexion, I could marry a white person and still have a baby my complexion because I carried that child. Like, my DNA could just be dominant in that situation.
Right.
And I'm talking like it was a full-blown, you're right, I'm wrong. And I had to stop myself and say, you know what? I forgot you had a medical degree. Let me go to bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to literally just go.
Joke it off, laugh it off.
Like, I literally had to go. It dawned on me going, why am I doing this? Like, I'm stressing myself out, annoying the hell out of myself, having this argument, and you're know-it-all. So why am I arguing with you?
Listen, I you know, Jay-Z is my favorite rapper, but one quote that always has stuck with me is when he said, "A wise man told me don't argue with fools because
people from a distance
can't tell who is who." And that literally plays in my head.
What's funny
when
is
I'm arguing with somebody.
Know-it-alls are usually fools and don't know it.
Yeah.
And because they know it all, they don't see how stupid they sound most of the time. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like know-it-alls, you be sitting there going, how is it that every discussion you know more than everybody in the room? No matter what the discussion is, no matter what the conversation is, you know more than everybody in the room. No matter what their educational level is, no matter
Right.
what, you know, what background they come from, no matter what, you know more than every doggone body in the room.
Right. I mean,
Like how is that?
you got some people like that, you know, and that's just what they are. They are what they are. But it's up on time, so we got to give our final thought.
All right, Mike Jones, what you got?
Listen, it's a whole bunch of stuff that can, you know, ruin a relationship. Only you as a person know what that is. You know what your tolerance level is. If you in a situation to where you've been throwing stuff in your backpack, you first try to have that conversation. If you can't have a conversation or you feel like the other person is not willing to have that conversation with you, at least you tried. And then if, you know, you govern yourself accordingly after that. Only you know how much of this you can take. I mean, we do it all the time. If we buy something from a store and it ain't what we want, we just send it back. So sometimes in relationship, if it ain't the relationship that you want,
Send it back.
just send it back. Return the sender.
Get store
Send it
credit.
back.
Send
Send it
it's
back.
something. Send it back. Like that's just to me. Like don't keep on stressing yourself up about a relationship that, you know, is not going nowhere. And that's just what it is.
I agree. Ty?
Yeah, for me, I would say for everything that we have talked about that can ruin a relationship, it's also fixable as well. Bad communication, if you work on it within your relationship and get better at it, you can fix it. If you cheated and don't cheat no more and she forgive you, you can fix it. Whatever it is that can ruin your relationship, if you work on it hard enough, you can save your relationship. So just try to recognize your faults and work on those things because no one is perfect, and just keep it pushing.
So my final thought would be, and it's going to piggyback off of Ty's, realize that you're not perfect. Like, seriously, realize that you don't know it all. Realize that you can be wrong in situations and start apologizing, because you might be the thing that's ruining your relationship, whether it's a friendship, a marriage, whatever the case may be. You may be the problem. It is almost probable that you are the problem. Everybody else cannot be the problem. Everybody else cannot be the issue. If you cannot take accountability and responsibility for things that you do wrong, things that you say wrong, you are a problem. And I don't care how much you try to make shit glitter, it's still shit.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, you can dip it in gold and bronze it and ice it out, and you crack that boy open, it is still a pile of crap. And it putting on, look, you just an a-hole in a nice tie. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So be able to take accountability, save your relationships, save your marriages, save your friendships. I'm the first partaker of this word. I am the first partaker of this conversation because I have, hills that I be willing to die on, and I be wrong as all hell. You know what I'm saying? So me and y'all need to start taking accountability for your actions. Admit when you're wrong and stop freaking being a know-it-all, because nobody likes a know-it-all.
Preach. I think we can get
That's it.
That's it.
So
That's
again,
all.
we've been sipping on Boogie's Bangin' Lemonade through the show.
I haven't haven't tried.
As y'all can see at
Listen,
this
hold on.
table.
I haven't tried to just straight lemonade. So
As y'all can see at this table, we've been really getting in on this Boogie's Banging Lemonade. The stuff is delicious. So for contact information, y'all can reach them at 810, and I need our intern to put this in the comments. You can reach them at 810-333-4133. That's 810-333-4133. You can order 16-ounce bottles. They got 32-ounce jars, and they have gallon sizes. Make sure y'all go support Boogie's Banging Lemonade. They out of Detroit. Of course, black owned, because y'all know how JOO roll. But this lemonade is absolutely delicious. We should have put some liquor in it tonight, because I'm sure it would have mixed very well.
Get you some Boogie's lemonade.
But make sure y'all support Boogie's Banging Lemonade. I know they're usually at pop-up shops and things like that, especially around the city of Detroit. For our out-of-town people, call the number. We have it tagged in our comments right now. Make sure you order your Boogie's Banging Lemonade. Again, we have the strawberry guava, the strawberry watermelon, the peach mango, and the regular lemonade, and it's absolutely delicious.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Lemonade is banging.
Are you trying to get a deal?
You're trying to get a deal.
Jingle deal.
So thank y'all for kicking it with us today. Don't forget, make plans. We are in Brooklyn at the end of June, the 28th. The 28th through the 30th, we are in Brooklyn. Taste of Black Spirits, JOO Black Spirits Legacy. Shout out to Lazar. Thank y'all for watching. This has been Just Our Opinion with Robin.
Mike.
Oh, and Ty.
Deuces.
Peace.